Hello everybody, good evening, welcome along to post-match reaction here on the Rangers Rabble Podcast. Hibs 0, Rangers 0, and Hibs can probably count themselves as a little bit unfortunate not to take all 3 points because we were abysmal. That's probably, I would say, the worst performance under Rule, especially, definitely in the league. It's the worst performance under Rule. We've had these games where been poor in the first half, but we've played better in the second, or we've been good in the first half, played poor in the second, or whatever. But at no point today did we look like scoring. I know we did, and it was offside. But genuine chances created, nothing. Movement up top, nothing. Players in the box, nothing. Absolutely hee-haw. And I posted it on socials, and I maintain it. If we don't make any further signings in this January window, which is mental when you consider the money that we've already spent, but if we don't make any further signings in this January window, we are in terms of winning the league, we're in trouble. We're in absolute trouble. Because we are only 1 or 2 good signings away from challenging Hearts. Because Celtic don't worry me. Hearts worry me. Celtic don't. But we're a couple of signings away from comfortably being either the first or second best team in Scotland at the end of the year. But we need to get our arse in gear and make a move now. Hello, my name's Martin, by the way. I'm your host, and today my co-host is my good friend Alex. Alex, how are you?
I'm all right, mate. Aye. Disappointed after watching that. That's an hour and a half of not getting back. Rangers did absolutely nothing to convince us that they were going to score today. Yes, we put the ball in the back of the net, but Mikey Moore's offside. I think Hibs looked like they were up for it more than we were. They looked like they wanted it more. I spoke about it at the end of that game. Dane Scarlett comes on for them. Miovski comes on for us. And in that 5 minutes, we see more from their attacker than we did if I were for the whole game. So I think just poor. We definitely need some attacking signings in before tomorrow night.
We 100% do, mate. We 100% do. And is that performance, am I just being a wee bit over dramatic because it's the first time we've dropped points in the league for so long? But is that performance a worry for you, mate, in terms of our inability to be able to attack?
I think that it's a worrying sign. I don't think I'm fully worried yet. It's definitely a worrying sign, though, that if a team just sits in, in terms of Hibs didn't sit in for the full game. Not even going to get into that. They attacked more than we did, but whenever we got forward, we made Grant Hanley look like a world-class centre-back because we couldn't even get past him. And that's probably the massive worry. You're bringing in Chimiti for 10 million, and he doesn't even have a shot on target today. Doesn't even get a shot on target. Grant Hanley shut him down time and time again. So for me, what's a worry is that Danny Rule didn't make his substitutions quick enough. Didn't make, I'd say, the right ones because there was players that should have been on a lot quicker. But we could have still been playing this game right now, and we still weren't getting a goal.
No, we really weren't. Right, I tell you what, let's hear from the manager before we carry on any further. I believe this is the Rangers TV interview. So let's hear from him. We'll come back and discuss it.
Danny, a goal with straw here this afternoon. What's your assessment of that game overall?
They expected a tough game. I think we know the opponent, they always try something and fight for something. We tried our best today. Of course, we want to win. It's important to get points. But today, I have also to say I have to accept this point from my group. They put a lot of effort in. We were in some moments not clinical enough. And then at the end, both teams tried to win this game. Was a lot of open moments in both directions. Finally, it's about the next game. And this is on Wednesday. And we have to deliver on Wednesday again.
Yeah, it's the biggest frustration as well. Maybe not so many clear-cut opportunities at either end as well today. And you mentioned not being clinical there, but maybe the chances created weren't quite as many as you'd hoped for.
General, I think in such a game, it's about small details and clinical, especially that in the final third, there was not so many spaces what you can attack. In the first half, we missed players in the box. We had too many players behind the ball instead of to be aggressive runs into the box. This was a topic in the halftime that we need the aggressive runs and everybody wants to score. We had in some moments, I think, was close with Mikey for offside situation. But it's football. I said this many times. It's about our way, our direction. And and there will be in some moments this up and down in the race. It's about that we are calm, but very clear where we want to go, and this is what I see at the moment from my group. They know where we want to go. They have a direction. They are hungry for more. We are disappointed today, but we carry on, and Wednesday is the next job to do.
Yeah, you mentioned that. Is it important now to sort of regroup? You've been on such a good winning run, but it's not a defeat. You go again Wednesday, 3 days' time.
Yeah.
It's another important game.
In general, I think my group did really well in the last couple of weeks. They were always on front foot, took a lot of wins, and this is the picture. And with this picture, I have to totally believe in the conviction that we go in the right direction. It's not about today, the 1st of February, where we are. It's about where we are at the end of the season. And for this, we will do everything. We have 14 match days to go. We will prepare this. We will be on front foot, and we will be the hunter.
It helps if you find the right buttons, doesn't it? It really does help if you find the right buttons. Trev, mate, welcome in.
Hello. Thought I'd answer the call, guys. I was able to come in and vent a wee bit about that performance. So, hello.
Listen, Trev, mate, I'll go straight to you with that interview. That interview's puzzled me a little bit, and I don't know if this is just a slight overreaction for me because I'm really pissed off at the 90 minutes plus football that I just watched from Rangers. But the manager mentioned there about, sometimes you have to accept the point. A lot of effort from the team lately, which is true, but there was, but not today. There was very little effort today, Trev.
It's true when both teams were playing well and going hammer and tong, and you just ping passes about, and you're just a bit unlucky. But we were awful. That's the problem. That's the problem for me, Danny. You actually, what you're saying doesn't make any sense, my friend. It's bizarre that you would say that. Maybe he's just trying to keep the cohesion and try not to be too negative. But what Danny's saying doesn't match up with what we all saw. We need at least one forward player before the end of this window, or we're winning nothing, guys. We're so lacking up front. In terms of putting the ball away and creating chances, it's unacceptable. So, Danny, I'm sorry you were wrong that time.
Kenny, welcome. How are you?
Oh, that good?
There you go. I'm actually, I'm all right. I've took a bit of time to calm down, obviously, because I wasn't into watching. I'm in the house again, so I can get on the pod. But where do I start? To unbalance a team by not playing the existing team straight away, then making the substitutions so that they kind of organically bleed into the team is a mistake for the gaffer. And he's allowed to have one or two because he's not made many. But there's a couple of instances. A, the back four should never be changed. And B, our wingers offer nothing. It doesn't matter what anybody says. We can't actually blame any of our strikers because they didn't get any in at all. I mean, what are you expecting miracles at these guys? Whoever plays
Kenny, can I just jump in there, Kenny? Right, because there's a couple of occasions that I can blame the striker. Firstly, John Souttar's broke forward nearly to the edge of the box, and Yusuf Chermiti is literally standing watching them in an offside position, not moving. Right, and then Chermiti gets the ball inside the box, and he could take a shot, but tries to find the pass instead of shooting. That's not a striker, Kenny.
No, you're right. You're right. There is instances. There's isolated instances where in a game like that you need to take the chance when you get it. 100%. I don't think Chermiti and Miovski is the way forward. I really don't. But again, we've no goals coming from anywhere else. Number 10, number 6, crosses, headers, wingers. We looked leggy. We looked tired. We looked as if. And by the way, you're saying that about the strikers, Martin. My good God, there was no 1-2 and triangles anywhere. Nobody's. See, when they passed the ball away, unless it was Moore trying to do something out of nothing, the rest of them were just waiting. There was an instant towards the end of the game where Moore broke, and I don't know. I think it might have been Raskin out in the left. I can't remember, but he never even moved. He never even moved, and the through ball was there to go into the box, and that was all day. And for a team that's fighting for a title, somebody needs to maybe go back in and tell them they're fighting for a title, because it wasn't a gritty title-winning performance, and there was no substitutions made at the right time. Agreed with Lewis on the page. The timing of what was meant to get changed should have been changed 15, 20 minutes before we were all probably screaming at it. And Danny, usually game his due, is very, very good at that. But he started the game, I mean, I wasn't expecting that team. I wasn't expecting Chukwueze to start a game. I just wasn't, because you had to bleed them in gently and things like that. Mendio and Raskin and all that, and the full team is the team that's probably got you to where you should be fighting for a title. Then you don't just dismantle that away to Hibs. You give it the start, and then if it's not working, maybe do it. But I'm going to say it, the wingers don't offer us jack nothing. And it's poor to say that, because Alston, you need to give him time. I get that. But
Yeah.
the likes of Gassama and that, Jesus, man.
Yeah.
They've got to get you out of trouble. And they're not getting us out of trouble.
Martin, can I come in really quickly about Chermiti, please? So I agree with you. Agree with your assessment of Chermiti today and what the guys are saying in chat. He wasn't great. And I'm just going to be my usual upfront, blunt, honest self. Everyone seemed to get a bit very excited about Chermiti when he got a couple of goals against that lot and he started playing better at holding the ball up, and everyone's like, oh, brilliant, oh, great. And I was like, no. I'm going to be cautiously optimistic. That's an improvement, but I'm sorry, he's 10 million pounds at the end of the day, so I expect that at a minimum. So I still don't rate him, even though he's done that. I still don't rate him. It's nice to have him in the squad and it's nice to develop him, but again, we can't afford players 10 million pounds to be project players and take years to come on to a game. So we do need to get another striker, and that's with Danilo going out. So that's at least one forward, if not two forwards, because we can't rely on Chermiti. He was Chermiti today, wasn't he? So no, I'm not a fan of him, mate. It takes a lot more to convince me. I don't know if anyone else thinks like that.
What I will say, Alex, mate, and I'll take this to you, is I agree. I don't think he's ever going to be a prolific goal scorer, Yusuf Chermiti, right? But he will have games like he had at Parkhead where he scores a couple of goals, etc., right? He will have the games. But our team is not set up to help any striker. It's so poor. Kenny was spot on, Alex, where the wingers offered nothing. Absolutely nothing. It seems to me that if Gassama doesn't start well, the heat's gone. He just loses any interest in what he's doing. If he starts well, then he plays well. If he doesn't start well, Alex, he plays poor. Olsen will be a fantastic player for us. But you can see the quality the boy's got, but he's nowhere near match fit. We need creative players, Alex, who are match fit.
Need him now. We need him before the start of that game, and we've sadly not got it. The biggest issue is that our team is set up to go through the middle, and a lot of the time we go out wide. You can see that we've got the quality through the middle, but how many times do we play the ball to Magoma, into Raskin, and then we wait for the overlap from either Magoma or Gassama, and it doesn't come, and then we turn around. Raskin at one point today had Sterling overlap him, he had Skov Olsen overlap him, he had Chukwueze beside him, he turned on the spot about 4 times, and then went back to John Suter. That's what we've got from our players going forward. There's players making the runs and we decide we don't want to actually go for it, we're going to go back the way. Now, Chermiti's positional awareness has been poor. It was poor in that game. He kept going towards the ball rather than making the dart into the box. There's a few times near the end of the game we broke forward and Chermiti didn't run. He was jogging rather than actually busting a gut to get in the box. By Rami puts a ball in, nobody's there. Nobody was in for it. We got a corner out of it. That shows you how much of a fight you put in. Him and Miovski are both in the park and nobody goes for it. Our best shot today came from a centre-back, getting a lucky break on the edge of the box. He ran onto it, hit it, takes a deflection, the keeper saves it out. That's the only good shot we had today, bar Mikey Mills, who was ruled off for offside. But Fernandez hitting a shot from the edge of the box, that's where you want Raskin. That's where you want Diamande, Miovski, Chermiti, anybody to just have a bit of courage and go, I'm going to hit it. I said this on Friday night. Somebody just to go, do you know what? I'll hit it. See if it goes over the bar. It goes over the bar. But nobody's got that. I'm just going to take the game by the scruff of the neck. And that comes a lot from our wingers because they dominate the ball and don't do anything with it because teams know to close them down. Gassama's going to try and turn you 2 or 3 times and then cut it back before he puts a cross in. Skov Olsen's obviously not up to match fitness yet, so he's doing the same. The only player that they actually seem to fear right now is Mikey Moore. Why? Because he runs at them. He runs at them and takes players on, tries that bit of creativeness. See if he takes a tackle. He keeps going. He'll fight back for the ball. The other players don't do it. You see them just stop and go, well, I've lost the ball. Alex,
Moore was the only one on the pitch who looked like he realised that we're in a title race. Yeah. But Alex, like you say, wingers and 10s or whatever, or tricky players, don't always get past a defender, right? No. They get tackled, they lose the ball. But at least, like you're saying, Moore goes, all right, okay, give me the ball and I'll try it again.
Aye, he tried to take on 3 players at one point, just running by them, and then nobody was in the middle there to help him out. I get he's going to keep trying to run and get forward, but then he's looking for Chimiti in front of him, and he's nowhere there. There's no link-up play at all, and that's the big thing Kenny said. We don't play in triangles. The players are standing so close to each other. All you need to do is put a player in the middle of them, and the move breaks down. And then what do? We turn back and go all the way back to Jack Butland, who then punts it out the stadium. And that's all we've seen today. Jack Butland, every time we had that ball, he just kicked it out of play because he was getting put under pressure, and that's all they needed to do. Put him under pressure, he punted it out of play. How often did we let Grant Hanley just hold that ball and walk about? One of the slowest defenders on that park, and we made him look a superstar. It was just shocking, and we're not going to get any better because we've got Kelly on a plastic pitch where that's going to be fun. How are we going to get past that one?
When? Is Kelly on Wednesday night at home?
Is it at home?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's at home.
Oh, well, we're still not going to get past them anyway because we're going to let against us to score, and that's what's going to happen. B-man's going to score against us.
He can't, because he can't play against us.
Yeah.
He will. Watch it. They'll let him.
By the way, it would not surprise me if Rangers ticked that box to went can play against parent club. It really wouldn't surprise me. Trev, the 89th minute of the game, and I bring that up because it's actually the 90th minute of the game. And for the life of me, it's just went right out my head who had the ball on the right-hand side about to cross it into the box, and did cross it into the box, Trev. And there was not a single Rangers player there.
Oh, yeah. I can't remember who crossed it myself, but I remember not a single soul being there. Yeah, I was thinking that. What's the...
By Rami.
Thank you, mate. Yeah, that's right. He was actually showing some things when he came on. I was pissed off with that. I could actually see myself shouting at the TV going, where the hell are the Rangers players? Where's their attack? Why are you not busting their gut like Barami is to get into the box and latch onto something? I have very little faith these days when we run forward like that, when someone tries to whip in a ball quickly, that one of our boys will get in the end of it, because they're showing no urgency at all to get on the end of that. None at all. And that's a lack of commitment, a lack of hard work for me. The basics is to be busting a gut. If you're missing out on a bit of quality, that's fine. But we expect, as Rangers fans, our players to be busting a gut and giving 100% every game minimum. And they weren't doing that. So I was raging at that. But there was more examples of that throughout the game, man. That was just the one that pissed me off the most. Any more than that, it just frustrates me. It just frustrates the hell out of me, man. And I don't know how we fix that.
Well, Kenny, it would appear to me there's still a long way to go, right? And I'm going to use this comment as proof. It was really underwhelming to see Max Aarons coming on in the 87th minute to try and help us win the game.
Yeah.
But do you want me to say, this is what I've been saying since I come on, you're unbalanced a team from the kickoff. It's absolutely madness when that's the team that's got you to where you're sitting in the league before you go to. And take Europe away, guys. Europe's nothing to do with this. The reason you're sitting in the league where you are is you managed to find a balance in the team that was getting his points. There was nobody getting in the back door, so the back four was settled. Aarons, whether it be Taver Aarons or it be Giga, Magoma and Fernandez. For the life of me, I can't work out. When I saw the team sheet, I was actually like, right, okay. I hope this pays off, but you're kind of taking a gamble at a time where we don't need a gamble before the split. And you're going away to Hibs who've just bought 2 or 3 players. No doubt their players will hit the ground running. Like every bloody else that buys a player hits the ground running apart from Glasgow Rangers. Mm-hmm. And the next minute, I saw it starting to fall apart, and it was like, we've no imagination, we've no play, we've no runners. I'm thinking, aye, because you've just took a team, Danny, that's you've trusted, and you've put the trust in them, and they've paid you back and dismantled it and put players on, and you've left players on that shouldn't be on, and you've no brought other players on that should have been on, and then you're looking at the bench going, there's no players on here to come and change a game apart from Diamande. And why the hell is Diamande not on? Because the last few games he was your stalwart. Yeah. He's been the best player in the park for a couple of games, especially ones I've seen live, and he's sitting on the bench and you're going, knock my arse, whoever's telling you that. No, he hasn't. He's just tried to put the people that bought into play, Chukwueze and all that. The people, their assets, they're trying to play their assets, and I'm going, aye, fair enough, but bring them on, don't start them. Put the team on you trust, put the team on that doesn't elite goals, put the team on that's slowly getting chances, but they're getting a lot more chances than we ever had today. That's the worst we've played in a long, long time. And I'm still going to put that round Danny's neck, and not to slag him. It's just he got it wrong. It's simple as that. There's no, he's not the right manager or anything like that. It's nothing like that. It's just, you got it wrong, mate. You've got to take accountability for that when you get it right, and you've got to take accountability for it when you get it wrong. You can't just turn around and say, but this, that, and the next thing. I heard his presser, and I was quite surprised at the deflection, because we're not usually get that for Danny Rowe. Usually we'll just say, that's what it is. And Martin, that's exactly what went wrong. It just unbalanced the team that he worked so hard to get right. And he could have easily subbed those players on whenever he needed to. I was very surprised Max Arns wasn't at right back. I was very surprised that Suter played with Manny when they don't gel. Giga and Manny, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I've actually started to gel quite a lot. So I thought I would have relied on that, and Raskin and Dio to start the game, whether 6 and 8 or 8 and 6 or whatever you're going to swap them about. It was bizarre, mate. And then everybody's so surprised that we ended up smothering this team get smothered. They were getting in behind us. And yet again, just to finish the point off, that one where Raskin got into the box and had to bulldoze his way through, and there's not one player backing him, not one winger. You'd expect your wingers right and left to be up at the 18-yard box, and your number 6 to be high enough up behind a 10, so that if Raskin's going into the box, you've got, you're defending for the front. And there was nobody. And I'm like, no, you've unbalanced the full thing for the start, and now you're chasing your tail, and then you're having to bring players on. It's no game changers, because bringing Majowski, you might as well put him in goal, because there was no chances up front. So I'd rather have smothered the midfield and tried to get goals and target for distance, rather than trying to push it into the box, because you weren't getting in the box, but you were getting to 20 yards, 25 yards. So it was unbalanced, and Rowe has to take a wee bit of the blame for that. And I hope he does and just says, you know what, hands up, I've made an arse of that, I'll no do it again.
Well, no, because what he said was that, what was it he said? You've got to accept the point, a lot of effort from the players. Craziness. Absolute craziness today. You don't come out and say that after you draw 0-0 when you're in a title race. And Trevor, let's not kid ourselves. This is not a great Hibs team. This is not the Hibs teams that we've played in the past, where you go to Easter Road, and we've got a pretty decent record at Easter Road, right? But you go to Easter Road and you know it's going to be a game. Or if they come to Ibrox, you know it's going to be a game. I don't think that's this Hibs team. I really, really don't. And that worries me even more.
They're not anything too great at the moment. I think they're
but what does that make us, Trev?
No, that makes us mugs, is what it makes us, Martin. I think that there was a stat in the TV before that they haven't beaten us on their own patch in 20 years, something like that. And that says it all, to which Michael Stewart went, that's terrible, blah, blah, blah. Shut up, Michael Stewart. But it shows that we're complete and utter mugs. We know fine well, Martin, that any team like that, especially Hibs, will turn it into a cup final and up their game for us, even if they're playing Beauchamp. And they did today. They played better than they usually did because it's against us. We should have known that, and we should have played to our strengths, which is quick, fast, attacking football, and that would have been too much for them. But you couldn't get the ball to stick at all to anyone up front when it was going forward. The passes were awful as well. So if they were not anything too great, then it's embarrassing from us, mate. Simple as that. And Danny just got it wrong in his interview. He really did.
I mean, Kenny, that first half, 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes, we played okay. No, we didn't look great. We played okay. And then Hibs just took complete control. And for the rest of that first half, we could not get out. No,
and listen, everybody's got their opinion on it. And I see a few comments saying about unbalanced. How are we and all this carry on? You've got to remember one thing. Where were we in the league? Look at the stats. We were the best defence in the league. All right? That get changed completely. And what happened? It just, the midfield get changed. That's the big point. I was talking to Ian Thompson about this. That you've took away the solidity that got you to where you've got to be. And unfortunately in football, you can't just completely change that. And it showed in the first half, Martin. They worked us out very, very quickly. And they were getting direction from their manager to their winger to their midfielder, who you saw, I don't know if any's clocked into TV. There was messages passing right and left, not with paper, but verbally, constantly. Next minute, they're getting chances, they're hitting our wingers. They know that our players are not going to chase back from midfield, whether it be wing or central. And as I said, a coach folk, you can tell they clocked what we were doing. We were so predictable. There was no energy to run back. We weren't interested in the hard graft. And unfortunately, it doesn't matter if you go away to Ross County, Aberdeen, Hibernian, you've got to earn your respect and earn your goal. And they clocked us within, 5 minutes? And it started to unravel. It was just unravelling. And it started to get to the stage where I'm going, right, Danny, this needs changed because it's not going to get any better. It's not going to change unless you maybe tinker with the formation or put a player somewhere else and all this. And as you saw what happened.
But Kenny, who was on the bench to change it?
That's what I mean. You don't have to change anything from a substitute. You can change it on the park by putting somebody into another position just to throw things off that could possibly play there if you've not got anybody in the bench. There's plans A, B, C and D in football, but if you don't see it, and I think he got a bit panicked because, as I said, 5 minutes you could see what was coming. 35 minutes you're going, oh no man, we've got no plan B here. And then it just snowballed, and I was hell of a disappointed for the team sheet to the first 45, Martin. I was.
Jack Butland, Trev, kept the score down. There was nothing. Don't get me wrong. There was maybe the Martin Boyle one. I think when Martin Boyle's through and go, I think that's a cracking save. It's saves that he should make, but he does make them, and he keeps us in the game. And probably the only player in our team that gets pass marks.
Yeah, what can we say about Jack? I think we said before that the kind of little problems that he has, which we didn't see really today, it's something we need to accept with Jack. We're not going. That's why he wasn't like second choice or starting for a Premiership side, and I'm willing to accept that, as frustrating as it is. But he today was absolutely fine. Some of the saves he made, he shouldn't be having to do that. He should be relying on his back line more and changing the defence when it was actually a little bit stable. It baffled me from Danny Rowe. Why were you doing that, mate? We're actually playing kind of okay, and then you're mixing it up. And then Stutter gets done with a ball over the head at one point. In fact, more than one point. And I'm thinking, there's his Achilles heel. Like, I'm not even entirely sure why we're playing him. It's just upsetting the status quo at the back. Fernandez, I like, but he's still a little bit raw, and he needs someone solid and reliable beside him going forwards if we're going to get the best out of Fernandez. Butland does what Butland does. Great saves. He didn't have any major hiccups or boo-boos. He was kicking it out quite a lot, to be fair. I wasn't a fan of that, where he would just kind of struggle when the ball was hitting back to him, and he would just boot it out the park or towards any Rangers players. But bar that, he's our man of the match, dare I say, and that the fact that I say that is wrong. If your keeper's man of the match, then you've got a problem.
Right, let's all, for 5 seconds, take a wee chill pill, right? And I'm going to bring up Arlene's comment. Kenny, Martin, Kenny, Trev, we can't expect miracles. It's just going to take time. The new players gelling with our current players, Kenny. And look, Arlene's probably right. I mean, Olsen in 5 or 6 games, once he gets a bit of game time under his belt, will probably be creating and scoring. But 5 or 6 games is too late, Kenny. We don't have time.
Yeah.
We've made a bit of a road for our own back by getting to the position we're in. We weren't expecting it, guys, as Rangers fans. We weren't. Now we're here. We're teetering on the lunacy of thinking, shit, what if we make an arse of this? And I think it's all these emotions. It's flying about with us all at the moment because we weren't expecting to be in a title fight. Now we are picking holes in things. The midfield kind of let us down the day for left, right, wing and centre. I think the defence wasn't too bad. They didn't score, did they? So, but again, I think she's right. Of course, they're going to take time. That's why I was a wee bit more surprised, like Trevor said, about the defence being a bit unsettled with who you played there and when the other ones were playing really, really well. As I said, they were all right, but you weren't putting Aarons out in the right and stuff like that. I would have started the team the way we've always started the teams in the league that's been tried and tested, and then brung Chukwueze and all that, your players on. It's hard out in the right wing because we've not really got a player because your man Ant-Man's just coming back. Is there an argument that that's why Curtis should have stayed because we're a bit thread at the minute out there?
Don't get me started.
Listen, it's just the truth. I know, it's just the truth. He could have been on there and then you bring Olsen on or whatever else, and you're right, there's some really, really good touches for Olsen, but again, the Scottish League's an anomaly, it's a different thing. And she's right, her point's right, Martin. At the end of the day, they should have started where they were tried and tested and then brought the players on slowly and bled them in, and I think Big Chuck would have had an easier game. And he didn't do crazy amounts wrong, let's be honest. I think we more let ourselves down for across the middle band of the park than we did anything else. So, she's got a valid point, but again, I wouldn't have started them straight away. I thought it was just too much pressure straight on, and I would have probably kept the back four where it was so that it maybe took pressure off the mid.
Was today a day, Trev, that we missed Conor Barron?
Oh, aye. Oh, I was gutted when that wee man got injured. I really, really was. He was so consistent for us. So he worked really, really hard, and his passing was actually getting better and better as time went on. I think that's what we're missing from Raskin, by the way. Sometimes his final pass is still bloody awful for me. We are missing him. We're missing someone that will work hard in the midfield, get the ball back, try and find one of our forward players with a great pass. You could argue that if we had to get another couple of players in before the window ends, that one of them has to be a midfielder or an attacking midfielder, someone in there that will actually link the midfield to the forward position, because it's all wrong. It's all wrong, and it can't be. I can't wait for that wee man to come back. I hope he can come back before the end of the season to actually help us get us over the line, because he's a big loss at the moment.
Yeah, Kenny, just in terms of what you're saying. And in terms of really what we watched, and, players jogging about, Asgard taking 7,000 touches when he only needs to take 2. Raskin kind of trying, but not really in the game. And there's a ball passed through to him and it just hits off his heel. It's just a Conor Barron, I think, settles that midfield down, because he's saying to Barron and he's saying to Raskin and Chukwueze or whoever's in the middle of the park, don't worry about it, boys, I've got it. I've got the defending part of this.
Absolutely brilliant point. He's in value only because of that. He motivates the team for what he does. He talks with his feet and his attitude, and then he says to folk, if you make an ass of this, I'm going to be there to annoy the life out of them. So just don't worry, I'll be the buffer between the mid and the defence. However, if you had a Martin Boyle out in the right wing, who's never, ever, ever going to give you a minute's peace, it also invokes everybody else to lift their demeanour. If you've got those type of players who is showing you the way, who's and lighting up, maybe getting the odd chance here and there. So I think that's important at that side of the park for Barron. He would buffer and break up the play. But somebody's comment there was phenomenal, saying it's not really Martin, what else would do? The top third of that park is absolutely astronomically terrible, because there's never any out ball that's going to stay that way and get chances and hit posts. So it's good. We've got a player, unfortunately, is injured to do that, but we missed Barron, because that smothers the enthusiasm of Hibernian. If they're coming and it's breaking before it gets to a 25-yard box, 18-yard box, 25 yards out, if it breaks there and they're not managing to get any shots on target, they kind of start losing heart after 45, 50 minutes, whereas there wasn't that. And there's another comment.
I want to hear more about this new 25-yard box.
It's because
I'm interested in it.
I've been coaching the Wednesday hit for 25 yards for about a month. But listen, it's the 18-yard box, 25 yards, something like that. If you break it there, then they smother the game. You're getting chances. You're taking away their heart, their determination, their team, and Barron's not there to buffer. But you've also got to have the other end of the park where you can't have Asgard dancing, sand dancing, do nothing. Raskin
sand dancing.
Asgard giving in, Raskin giving in, Gassama not even chasing anything, and wondering why we're not really penetrating anywhere when we're going forward. I don't know how many times we need to pass the ball back the way either. I think the only one that didn't do that today was Mikey Moore. So it's a worry. It's a worry, man, because is that the reason he is determined to get that boy for Germany? Is he one of these guys that just knows what he's doing, and it's that kind of fighting guy who can play with Chermity, that the two of them are very similar? I don't know, but what I can tell you is I'm no best impressed with the wingers, the new at our club, to get us out of danger.
Yeah, poor Trev. I don't think there's any argument about that. But it's not just the wingers for me, it's the central midfielders that don't create either. And look, like you're not expecting Barron, right, to thread the pass through the eye of a needle to Chermiti for Chermiti to go 1-on-1. But you might be expecting that from a Dio or a Raskin every now and then. I'm not saying all the time. But our central midfielders don't create either. The only contribution we have from our central midfielders is Raskin at set pieces, which, by the way, today our set pieces were awful.
Yeah. It's midfield, and from the midfield up is problematic. It really is. I can't just blame the strikers. If they don't have decent service, there's not a lot they can do. I mean, Miovski needs decent service if he's going to do anything with the ball. The wingers were not great at all. I'm not going to blame Olsen that much. He's just come in. He's going to take a bit of time. I'm assuming Martin, he didn't get much game time in his previous club if he's no that match fit. But he'll come good soon. He needs some time. I've got faith in him as well. Laudo has faith in him, so if Laudo's got faith in him, I've got faith in him. And obviously, Asgard was pants. I still don't rate him despite the improvements. If you are going to label blame at the striking position, you've got to be labelling blame at the midfield. The midfield has got to be doing better and creating more chances. It can't just be on the strikers and the forward positions to make chances and score goals. The midfield needs to pull the finger out more. And that's why I think, ideally, and I know we've only got a day or two to go, whatever it is, the transfer window closes, we need to get another midfielder in ideally. Otherwise, what's the point?
Yeah, and Cassie's spot on again, Kenny. Olsen made about 4 or 5 runs in between Hanley and Iredale, and they couldn't make the pass. We don't have anybody that can make a simple pass.
It's the best, one of the best comments of the day so far. The boy maybe the Thomas Buffel hanging up. He's maybe more intelligent than the players that are actually trying to play the ball into him, or he's trying to play the ball, play the pass. He might be more intelligent when it's on the field with him. Thomas Buffel was that guy. It was just sheer class, and it took a bit of time for the team to start building around him, and etc. etc. So one guy out in the right wing can't do it all himself. But Mikey Moore was the boy who was head and shoulders for me. Just if we could get that attitude into most of our players, it would have been a different story today. Or would it? Because we've no strikers to score goals, but it would have caused more chances. But the final pass, as you say, Martin, the final pass, the ball around the corner, the ball over the top, the imaginative change of play, it's not there. So if you're relying on a gritty 0-0 game to get a 1-0 win, we've not really got that dynamic of player in there that can give you that little nick, that little. I mean, listen, if we won 1-0 and we ground it out and we were getting chances and we were keeping them out and then we won 1-0, that's a title winning side. But we haven't got that end product to be that at the moment. Ooh.
Not one, he's let me know. Yeah, head up. If we had won that game 1-0 and it had went exactly the way it went, only say for example the Moore goal was onside, then we'd probably be sitting here going, by the way, we were rubbish today. We were terrible today, but we managed to scrape the 1-0. But like you say, Kenny, we don't, because we don't have the players to be able to do that. Or do we, Trev? And is this just a slip up?
No, I generally don't think we have the players fully yet to do that job, Martin. I mean, getting someone like Olsen was a great start, but like I say, he needs some match fitness and he won't come good immediately yet. Our old squad, our current squad, I guess, was so bad at one point that we needed so many other players in with quality to actually get anywhere this season. The fact that we're even back in the title hunt, it still blows my mind to this day. That's why I'm trying not to get too excited, because I don't want to come crashing down to earth too harshly, but I don't think we have the quality enough, mate. I don't. I've just said before, Asgard, not good enough. He floats in and out of games. You mentioned 10 million touches for bloody Asgard. I remember at one point it was like ballet with football. He was going round in circles. And I was like, what are you doing, man? This is how someone sneaks in, grabs the ball off your feet, and then goes in a counter-attack and scores. You don't do that, mate. You just don't do that. I say I'm not going to blame Olsen at the moment as well. Raskin can go hot or cold. There's not got a great final pass in him. So what have we actually got in the midfield to actually get forward in terms of quality? There's not a hell of a lot there. This is why I would love if we could get another winger in and a striker, I'd be happy with that. Or a good midfielder and a striker, I'd be happy with that. But when does the transfer window shut? Is it tomorrow? Midnight? Something like that. But it's not much time anyway.
Tomorrow, yeah.
Aye.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, Jesus, it's tight, man. Aye.
Kenny, we've been on a really good run in the league, right? And we haven't lost today, albeit it probably sound if the score wasn't at the bottom, people might think that we had for the way that we are talking, right? So, nice, simple, easy question. Do we, as supporters, really, really worry about today? Or do we chalk it down to it was a really, really poor day at the office, the players weren't on it? Do we look at Thursday, and say, could Thursday also be something to do with today, even though Olsen didn't play, even though I forgot the names of the other players. Chukawani didn't play. Sterling didn't play. There was quite a few players that didn't play, but can we use Thursday as an excuse and say that we're just off it today, but we still think we're good enough with the players that we've got to go on and do something, even though the three of us throughout this whole show have said we don't for the players?
I think there's some of the players just had an off day, which is absolutely fine. It's absolutely fine, right? But if there's a comment up there, I went 100%. If we don't get two strikers in the door, and I mean two, no one, two,
you've got no chance of us getting two strikers.
No, I know. That's the point. But if you get one, you're going to have to. You can't be getting Cameron Archer's on loan and all that. You've got to go after your first. You've got to go after somebody that's going to hit the ground running. You've got to do your due diligence. Your scouting network's got to be right on the money. If you're going for a bloody title, this is Glasgow Rangers, man. You've got to go for it. You're sitting right in the mix. Stop pissing about. Get in and get the striker you want. And you've got the money, apparently, and go and get it done, because it's blatantly obvious. And sorry I'm getting passionate, but I'm not having a league getting thrown away because we're being stupid in the transfer market and chasing a guy for a third division German club. This guy must be a wonder kid if you're keeping at him. Scrap it. Go and get somebody and say, listen, there you go. See, the longer you're doing it, you're going to struggle now. The longer you're leaving it, you're going to struggle. There's rumours that Archer isn't going to be coming because another striker gets sold at Southampton. This is all the stuff that's going to come into play. And that's why I'm a bit worried at the fact that we can't score goals. We haven't got the guy where he can play in. You need a creative midfield and a striker at least. And are you going to get that now? How close is it? Is it the second in Scotland that finishes? So come on. Aye, that's a creative striker, a creative midfield and a striker is what you need. But you need guys that we sit up and go, aye, we're after it now. I mean, Hearts had injury issues. They had struggles.
Shankland's still out for them, their best striker.
Devlin, Shankland. And you're sitting there and they're going, right, no, today we'll just buy that guy and that guy. And by the way, Zacharidis is just about to come back in, so we're all good. And Braga's still there. And they've weathered the storm and still keep rolling.
And winning comfortably.
Yeah, and we won't do that if we have an injury crisis unless we put bums into that stadium. So I'm worried, mate. As long as something goes on here, but I'm a wee bit apprehensive. I'm not panicking because we're still in the mix. But I'm a wee bit worried. I think we need a top class striker in there, and I think just going for these. I mean, there's this Piori was so obvious. I've watched Piori on and off for a long time, and I'm not so sure that's the answer either. I'm not saying I know what the answer is, Christ. I'm not a scout for any top club or anything like that, but we have absolutely no imagination for the last third. So unless you can get an absolute baller, a midfielder in there, and a striker going to hit the ground running, who's going to bully the life out folk and be really intelligent on his runs, because Chermiti he's never a number 9 in his life. He's a hold-up striker. So yeah, for me, you've got to get a striker, and you've got to get that guy that can open really, really tight defences for me.
Well, I 100% agree with you. Just very quickly, Chunky, channel member, big supporter of the channel as well, has gifted 5 Rangers Rabble Podcast memberships on YouTube. So Chunky, thank you very, very much, my friend. And we've also got another new member, Fish Clyde. I would imagine that's got something to do with the River Clyde and fishing. But welcome aboard. I hope that you enjoy all the extra content. Thank you very much. And first super chat test, Brill Chat, shut up top. From Fish Clyde. Thank you very, very much for the support. Pretty much echoing. I mean, he's put it a lot more plainly and bluntly than us, but he's quite spot on. And James Cameron as well. Title winning teams get a result despite the performance. There should be no excuses regarding playing on Thursday night. Can we class the draw as a result considering how we performed today, Trev?
Yeah, because I think we were fortunate to get that point. I genuinely think I think I touched on it at the very start when I said if both teams were going at it hammer and tong playing great and you got a draw from it, you might say fair result. But Hibs deserved to win that. They had the better chances. They worked our goalkeeper way more than we worked their goalkeeper. Their goalkeeper barely had a save to make. So you could see, I watched David Gray's interview after, and he could see he was gutted to get the point. He thought his team should have got the 3 points, and they should have. So yeah, we are very lucky to get that 1 point. It might make a difference come the end of the season. It might not. Hindsight's a wonderful thing. But you can't be expecting too many more of those results, because then you'll be out of the title race before you know it. And Hearts, what they done with so many players injured, that's how you do it. That's how you manage to grind results out and even do them with a bit of class, even with several of your players that are injured. They're showing more passion, I think, than our boys are to get the game over the line. And that's unacceptable, because as we say at Rangers, we expect 100% effort at a bare minimum, and we're not getting that at the moment.
If you look, Kenny, at the spending so far this season, so Kevin Thelwell told us that in the summer we had a 20 million net spend on players. And if you look at the players that we brought in, if you add in the loan fee for Olsen, not the optional buy fee, but the loan fee for Olsen, I think we're sitting at about 35 million roundabouts spent this season. You can't spend 35 million in Scotland and put performances in like that, can you?
No. So we all said at the start that it will creep up. So there's nowhere to hide once you start spending the money yourself as a manager. So we all said that, we're not, but it's a bit too early to start hanging it around his neck. But I would like to see some scarves above heads and a marble staircase shortly. That would be really nice. And I think he's right. I think he's under no illusion, because he did say that the transfer deadline day is going to be pretty scary. So let's see if he's true. It's not about if we're going to get these players in and out. It's about the right type of players in and out, as we keep saying time and time again. And yet again, we're kind of back, kind of wondering what's happening. I think we're a wee bit over panicked because the title fight's on and we don't want to drop points, and Celtics do what they do. They do what they do. You knew they were going to do that, right?
They won.
So they're starting to creep back in after all the hard work we've done. And
Celtic, by the way, Kenny, apologies. Celtic, see if Hibs played exactly the way they played today against Celtic. Celtic still win that.
Yes, that's the difference. And I think when we saw what Trevor was saying, you were saying we couldn't get anything finished off in the last third. Celtic finish it off in the last third, even an OG or a bit of pressure. But we don't have that high press. Rangers don't high press. And that's what Danny's trying to put into them, and they stepped off it today. So I think, I don't know who was it put up there about getting a striker in that actually creates his own chances. See that half yard? Mm-hmm. A little step out and you've got half a yard and a shot on target. We need that. We need that. Just somebody that's going to say, I'm not interested. I mean, who was it? Was it, I can't remember who was in the pod when they said about Arfield does that. It may have been Waterboot. Arfield said Waterboot said that Arfield just used to turn his back to the goal and would make sure he got a half a yard turn and just had it, whether it hit a defender, whether it went off, whether it went out, you might get a deflection onto one of your players or you're getting a shot on target. Rangers aren't very good at that now. So it's a worry.
Martin saying Celtic don't worry him. You're talking about a Rangers team who have won next to nothing in the last decade. Always stay humble, lad. Well, it's not me. It's the Celtic fans that have been telling us for ages that their team's crap and that they need to go out and spend an absolute fortune. So it's not me that's just saying this. It's Celtic supporters that are saying it. I'm only going on what I don't watch Celtic, so I'm only going on what Celtic supporters say, Roger. They're telling me that their team's mince. So if Rangers bring in the right signings, I don't fear Celtic. I just don't. Hearts is the team that are saying that are saying to everybody, come and chase us. We're in the lead and we don't look like we're giving it up.
Yep.
So no, I don't fear Celtic. That might come back and bite me on the arse, which knowing my luck, it probably will. But right now, on the 1st of February, I don't fear Celtic. And that's just by me going by what other Celtic fans are saying about their own team. But listen, folks, we shall leave it there for today. We're back tomorrow. I don't want to give any specific times for tomorrow because I'm hoping that Rangers are going to be very, very busy. And we've got a few announcements to come and discuss. So I'm hoping I can see you all tomorrow. Before we go, if I can just ask, before you all jump off, because I know that when a host says we're about to go, you all just go, right, well, I'm not listening to the wee spielies go to the end. Please do leave a like and make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. It really, really does help. And if you want access to loads and loads of extra content, you can become a member now. The links are in the description. If you prefer your audio stuff, then go across to Patreon. If you like your stuff in video, then jump on the YouTube memberships as well. And if I could also just put out a big shout out to our channel sponsors, Salt Tire Trading. They are experts in bankrupt stock. So if you're looking for anything at all, you can email the guys sales@salttiretrading.co.uk and they will do their absolute best to try and sort you out for whatever your needs most desire. So Kenny, Trev, and of course Alex, who had to leave us, thank you very, very much for joining me today. Thank you to everybody in the comments, all the super chats, all the members joining as well. Thank you very, very much. It means so much. So thank you, and try at least and enjoy the rest of your Sunday.